Ah, indeed. Hello, everyone. Mystery here, and today we're going to be taking a look at a new enemy that's been added to Darktide. Now, this is a bit of egg on my face, I have to admit, because I recently made a little quick video saying, hey, there's a new event available, and this event is just hacking these little doohickeys. There's no new enemy or anything. Well, there's a new enemy, and here he is. Now, the reason, in my defense, that I didn't notice this new enemy was in the game is because he's just a gunner, basically, and he gets wiped out just like anything else does. In like a matter of seconds, people notice him because he's a big-ass blinking red light on his head, and he's standing out in the open, and he gets killed before I even get to catch up. And, yeah, so if you want to see one in action, maybe call out to the players in your team and tell them not to kill the dang thing. It's really, really hard to get them not to do that, though. So I have to test here in the Psychanium, because if I try to test with a quick play group, they'll just kill them all. Anyway, what does this guy do? What is he supposed to do? Well, it's pretty simple. He's a radio operator, so he calls in reinforcements. First, he's going to gun, but at some predetermined interval, there we go. He pauses in his shooting for a second, and in that time, he summons in a group of specials and regular enemies. Let's see if I can get them separated out here. Usually, in my experience, there's 3 specials. What do we get? It's like between like 2 and 4 specials. I've seen 4, but he spawned 1 trapper, 1 sniper, and usually spawns 8 of these dudes. Yeah, he spawned 8 regular infantry dudes. And so, I could have just dodged into him from the beginning. So he's actually really threatening if he remains undealt with. Let me turn off their noises because it is quite noisy to listen to that. Where is it? There it is. So my problem with this enemy is in his implementation. First of all, if Fat Shark is listening, or if you want any feedback on this new enemy, I think it's a really, really cool idea. I think that an enemy like this, like an enemy that rallies more troops to its cause, is something I've seen in a bunch of other games and is really, really cool. It causes your team to have to call an audible and get rid of a specific enemy, because that enemy will continue making your life a living hell. The problem with the implementation of this enemy, though, is that he is a gunner, first and foremost. And so what's a gunner going to do? Well, he's going to cower behind some cover, and then he's going to say, oh, I need to shoot these enemies. And so he'll step out of his cover and he'll shoot the team. And that's the problem, because he is making himself visible when he has a big blinking red light on his head. Wouldn't it be cool if, instead of making himself visible and vulnerable to the team, if he was just programmed to stay in cover? If he stayed way at the back of the group like flame bombers and like snipers do, they stay really, really far away from the team, and then they just repeatedly throw their ordnance or call in reinforcements. So if he was not programmed to peek, he would be really, really hard to get rid of, and it would cause players to have to push forward and rout him from his position and track him down. And you don't have to worry about like players being confused, oh, I don't know what's going on, where are these enemies coming from, because he has a very audible, like, stereo crackle when you're like in a room with him, and he does that loud yell that you heard at the beginning of the video. I think that loud yell is supposed to be tied to the summoning animation, like when the new enemies get brought in, but either it's not syncing up right in the Psychanium, or it's not synced up right in general. It's hard to tell. Outside of that, I wish there was some sort of like tell for his radio frequency about like when stuff got summoned in. You know, we have that noise when a platoon of snipers get summoned in, that radio crackling, that static noise when snipers get summoned in the foggy missions with the extra sniper spawns. I think something like that, an audio tell that one of these guys is doing his duty, would be very nice, if indeed that is not what the yell is. The yell seems like a bit of a placeholder, if I'm being perfectly honest. It doesn't really seem like a thing a radio operator would do. It's just bellow to the sky. But really cool idea for an enemy, and I really hope to see these guys implemented in Havoc. I think that on the regular games that they're on right now, they don't really get to do what they're supposed to do, because the enemies in front of them just fold like a cheap house of cards, and then you run over this guy as well. But on Havoc, where there's a big wall of meat between the players and this guy, he could really get a lot of specials spawned and be an absolute nuisance. So that's where I'm hoping to see these enemies ported next. Anyway, guys, if you have any further comments about how this enemy could be implemented in the game in the future, or if you have any other enemies you'd like to see, leave them down in the comments. Maybe we'll be seeing a few more new enemies this year. I think this is the sort of thing that could really bring a revitalization to our enjoyment of old Darktide here. And that's all I have to say. So, Mystery out, I suppose. Bye.